Hello everybody and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. When we last left off, we were in the middle of a trial, so let's get back into it. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
The evidence I found in the trash can in the nurse's office was... where is it? Here it is.
I got it! It
People
was
are
a
going to
glasses
scream
cleaning
a lot.
cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind.
One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt
Came up with that
anyone
name.
but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Well, for once, I actually agree with Baka. Yes.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
Dude, go back to sleep. Here, take a joint, go grab a coloring book, sit in a corner, we'll call you when it's all done. Jeez.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
I know the answer.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies.
I
He
wanted to
probably
say that
used
one.
of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out. So he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot.
And if Hifumi
Okay,
was
maybe
still
just
alive
Joe's
at
my
that
favorite
point,
character
the
again.
disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's body was... Taka himself. No, I don't have enough hearts to do something like that. Hifumi.
Got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
Indeed.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Robo Justice.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka, could it be... Did I forget this? Oh, yes, right. I remember now. Where is it? It is the note Hifumi had. Yes.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his
Yeah.
pants?
Yeah.
Yes, his pants.
But everybody, please stop saying his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Why did Sakura sound the most interested in that? Yes. His pants. Yum, 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 yum. Take a look at what the note says. I found a hole. Maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh?
Incorrect.
Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Fumi's pants. Okay. Okay. His pants? Are you saying his pants are alive? Are pants people? Are there pants people? Hina, even if there are, I'm sure they're not here in the school. Wait, what am I saying? I need to calm down.
Shoot!
Hero finally using his brain.
The killer
Yeah, and
got
I
in
just
touch,
checked
and
mine
that
out.
person could
For
only have
funsies.
been...
Wait, no. Taka.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Oh.
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
TikTok and Huffy. Why didn't I think of those?
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Wrong game, Jill.
Ugh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
I know. She should take a leaf out of Huffy's book. He would never have done that. Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. Broken wristwatch, Shifumi's glasses cleaning cloth. Yeah, broken wristwatch is probably the correct one.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
Hang on a sec. Controls. How do I select truth bullet is LB. Okay, so.
But remember
this
what the
one?
note said.
Broken wristwatch.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
Yes.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Well. Okay, well, I missed. I think we can all agree Taka is the complete opposite of TikTok, right? I mean, that just makes it more true, you know? That just makes it a better nickname, not a worse one. Not 6 a.m., yeah.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was must have been Huffy! But remember, what time did it say to 6 a.m.? The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Oh, that's very annoying, the spinning ones.
No, that's wrong.
They're a pain to hit. Break!
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet
What
at
you
6
talking about, Wills?
a.m., which is the same time Taka was
TikTok.
murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
I love her. She's just chaotic. It's great.
Someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
I think you mean TikTok.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
To be fair, that would be a fair kick in the nuts, wouldn't it? Being told that they found a way out and then suddenly, no, it was just a lie. Like, that's just cruel.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Hifumi stole the note from Taka. That would be the scrap of paper.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the
Didn't you
note we
check that
found
already?
hidden on Hifumi.
What are you saying you knew it? You checked that already. With Kyoko.
Then Taka's
Jeez.
scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
She's a pretty smart cookie, Sakura. Not gonna lie. She's pretty good. Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah.
Oh.
After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Did the game just call me out? I think the game may have just called me out. I feel called out. Well, this is embarrassing.
Sorry, no.
Ah.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
Incorrect. He had that stupid monologue, remember?
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
Then he came back to life and did that monologue.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Is the game just going to forget about it? Like, did the game literally just forget about that monologue thing? That was the single weirdest thing. Apart from the rhythm games, obviously.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
And this is where the hammer's gonna come in.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Walrus? What?
Who are you calling a walrus?
How the hell does she look like a walrus?
Anyway, when they were
What?
killed bothers me too.
Back to life, just a
But there's
monologue.
something that's been bothering me even more.
Yeah, he's basically a super villain at this point. The super villain Huffy and the serial killer Sayaka. What a pair. When they were killed bothers me too, but it's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same. With
Wow.
them having similar fractures and all.
Wow, Hero's really stepped up now. Since he's been put in the spotlight, his brain has started working overtime. Jeez.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
Incorrect.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
Although a nice try.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Okay. At least I said it nicer than that.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
I do.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Neither.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow, I have to find the truth. Spotless hammer. Exactly what I needed. Now it's time to bonk some fools.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it
Did I just put it
Justice
there?
Hammer 3? Maybe
That seems
Justice
like-
Hammer 4?
That seemed like a great one to
Well,
do it on.
whatever it was,
Let's see
there's
the rest of
one
these anyway.
thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers. And, that's about it.
Actually, it's probably that one, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably that one. Yeah,
What was used to kill Hifumi?
that's not a contradiction
Well,
specifically.
there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com!
Well, one thing seems pretty
Murdergear.com.
clear. The
I-
murder weapon had to be one of the Justice...
No, that's wrong.
I wonder if murdergear.com/hammertime is actually a thing. Hang on.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
Murdergear.com/hammertime. Come on. You know, I'm trying to get there. Come on. It's a thing. Well, actually, murdergear.com is a thing. Murdergear.com/hammertime just links to the homepage. Okay. I wonder if they know. I can't imagine they don't. Oh, that's cool. Okay. My curiosity says, the murder weapon wasn't just a hammer at all. No, it was something completely different. Incorrect. It was a hammer
But-
as well.
Seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
That's how Makoto's household works, you know. If he comes home and the place is all nice and clean, he knows, oh, my parents have just committed murder today. But if he comes home and there's dirt everywhere, he's like, no murders today. Okay. Maybe tomorrow. Shame. Maybe Sayaka will come along and liven things up a little bit.
If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
Some as big as your head.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Or they could have just
If
recolored
that's
them.
true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
You know, it's just occurred to me that I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before at some point, but if this was a horror game, Aoi would have been the first to die, wouldn't she? I'm actually really surprised that she's hung on so long.
Hold on a moment.
Huh.
I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least, that's what we thought at first, but... Okay, so how are we proving this? Spotless hammer. Alright. Like, is this whole case you're doing? Not cool, girl.
Based on the rules that have
No,
been
there was
laid
no
out for
chainsaw
us,
involved, it was hammers.
even
Come
if
on.
more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules
I don't think
that
the
have
spotless
been laid
hammer is
out for
correct.
us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
Ah, okay,
But
I see
that
what I have
only
to
really
do.
applies if there's one murder,
I
right?
was thinking.
In this case, however, there were two murders.
Indeed. Can we really say there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even
Okay.
if more than one, only the one who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true, it
Impossible!
No, that's wrong. Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
Oh no, she used too many long words in a row. Makoto's brain's fried. Oh.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances
thanks,
out the
Firewall.
risk of
I
taking
appreciate
part in the
that.
scheme.
Bounce has the risk of taking part in the scheme.
There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
So, how about the money? Yeah, so they work together. Then she uses... Maybe she gives the money to his family? Or uses the money to propel him into stardom via his writings and stuff? That makes sense.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
Sorta.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
There is no accomplices rule. That's the entire point. They are allowed an accomplice, there's just no point. Most of the time.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Well, if you remembered a certain cup of milk tea, you may get some help from that. The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That's the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case is unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Like someone. I'm sorry, it was me all along. Are you confident in your assertion? Huh? Perhaps you should take a second and think it through again. More slowly this time.
Shoot!
Looks like I just embarrassed myself. Aww. The truth? Yeah. Okay. Well, Celestia Ludenberg, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but I'm pointing right at you.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Oh, and by the way, do you remember at the very end of the last trial, I made the prediction that the killer next time would be a girl? Because both of the killers before then had been boys? Just pointing that out.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yes.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
Well, you can stop laughing then.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of him.
Oh.
Shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
You seem to have lost your accent somewhere along the way there, Celeste. Would you like...
Pardonnez-moi.
Would you like to pick it up off the floor along with your dignity?
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
They're the only two who claim to have seen Hero slash Justice. Robo Justice. This is the only Hifumi and Celeste have in common, encountering the suspicious individual. The screaming? Maybe that as well, but encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
What? Becca, I'm going to murder you.
Sorry.
What? Done this game so far.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's almost like she is a compulsive liar or something. It's almost like it's literally her job to lie. But that's just a game theory.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
One was now on the third floor. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Thanks for watching. Jill, funny thing, I don't think I've ever actually watched an episode of Game Theory at all. I just know that. I just know that line. I just know the meme. So, yeah. It's time for our partner to get to work. Yeah. What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is the third time I've read that out.
It was to get us to
trial.
divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Ballsy plan. As I said. Very, very ballsy.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split it into 2 groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well. Then Mikoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Tako, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Is it just me, or is Mikoto's model, like not the one on the left, the one center screen, is it just me, or does he have like darker shadows and sweat on his face than he did at the start of the game? Is it just me, or did that model change? I think his chest is also different in that he's kind of leaning forward, so there's a shadow there as well. Interesting. Given that I just played Call of Cthulhu and I just finished that, it's actually kind of similar to the change that happened to the main protagonist in that one as well. Strange. I'm surprised Hifumi didn't mess this entire plan up. Yeah, well, he did. He did. He wiped his glasses. Yeah. Oh, and Robo Justice. He told us the name Robo Justice before he should have ever known that name. In fact, they both messed the plan up entirely. The entire thing was just it was just awful, honestly. It was an awful plan.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
One. Okay, would this be the fact that she tried to pin the murder on somebody who could not possibly have murdered them? By putting him in the circumstance that it would in fact be impossible for him to murder anyone? Would that be the fatal mistake?
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it.
Oh no, it was something she said, not something she did.
Looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did. Those guys.
I remember her saying that too, but
She didn't
I
know
don't
that
understand
Taco
what's so
was
strange
dead
about
yet.
it.
Or TikTok was dead yet. Counting way too much on people not questioning her. Yeah.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
Jeez. Hero, do we need to get you another coloring book?
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Baka said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. That the culprit had me but didn't kill me. That's also true as well. But what is he alluding to? I know. Monokuma file number 3. That may or may not be the right one.
All I said
Let's
was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Yes, that's the
And that is all I
contradiction.
said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I know exactly what was strange with it, but I'm not entirely certain how the game wants me to say it.
All I said was,
I think I'll have to
they must
read
really
through
be
this.
enjoying
Illuminati is in a shape.
enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
I don't need that.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
What's this?
We are going to die,
Oh.
just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it
Those guys.
takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I don't know. Maybe
All
I'll
I
take a look
said
at that
was,
so
they must
strange
really
bit.
enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die,
Oh no.
just like those guys died. And that is.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so
Maybe
strange
it-
about Celeste's
Let's
comment?
go. Farewell. That's no worries. I'll be here. Because honestly, I'm kind of stuck on this.
All
So
I
strange.
said was,
So
they
oh
must
shit! I
really
didn't
be
mean to do that.
enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated.
What?
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
Okay, so
No,
that's simple.
wrong.
All right, fair enough. Great. That's not really a contradiction.
That's
but
right.
I guess that is
There's
strange.
no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Indeed.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
Bluff.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Yeah.
Then what about the picture I took?
Obviously, it was planted.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to
Camera
set
doesn't
up
have
the
a timer.
picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
Or Hifumi carrying the suspect. I mean, Hero.
What could you possibly
I
mean
mean,
by
Hero's
that?
probably a suspect in several drug trafficking cases. But not suspecting this one.
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Do you feel like that was more of a plea? It's like, no, there's no other explanation. Other explanations. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi dragging the suspect away. Head pin drinking. Oh, okay, yep.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
I can't believe the game went the same direction I did as well with the way I said that.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Hey, Hero finally caught on! Good job, you're now on par with the rest of us. Well, you may be you may be on completely the wrong golf course, but at least you're on par.
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh, wow. She's really losing it. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Nah. Nah, it's really not. Thank you, right. Robo Justice costume, yes or hero's message, Robo Justice blueprints. Yep, I'd say Robo Justice blueprints would probably do well here.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No, that's where.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Okay, that's where. Actually,
you dressed me up in that suit after
no, the costume is the correct one.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him. You tried to make me look like the bad.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect, if the person inside the suit was unconscious,
here we go.
There's no way they could stand up straight.
Wrong.
No, it's wrong.
Celeste, I'm going to gut you. I'm going to gut you like the worthless fly that you are.
Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
That's interesting.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh. Claws are coming out, boys.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Well, if you don't understand the term checkmate, how about royal flush? Because you're about to be flushed down the toilet. Just like that stupid hair of yours. Hey, got her.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Yeah, this is the weird bit. Yeah, okay, so the game didn't forget, but... Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name.
Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
It's just me, your server voice is really squeaky there.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
What? What? Who cares?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Oh, she has seriously lost
Think
it.
back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said everyone's nicknames. Didn't he? Did he? He's like completely forgotten. Or was it last names? That's not the kind of thing I pick up on. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Nicknames? Actually, no, they weren't that close. Okay, never mind.
Think back to how
Okay.
did he refer to each of us?
Last names.
I got it! That's right. Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard
Oh,
him
yeah,
say Mr.
right.
Nayagi more than once, for example.
I forgot about the Mr. Naegi part.
So
Yeah.
Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name. He would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Now isn't that a convenient explanation?
Don't talk.
No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no.
Hang on. Hagakure. Where is she then? Celeste. Ah! You don't actually know Celeste Ludenberg. Yeah, right. Celestia Ludenberg. Why Hagakure? Okay, and since Luck is programmed, it is fair to say I will never lose. Well, sorry about that. Ooh. So why Hagakure?
And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Oh well, I just checked. It's Ludenberg.
What?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
just
right.
say?
Of course that's a fake
You
name. I
think
forgot about
You
that.
take your false accusations so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah, you're about to lose this case, and then you're going to lose your life. So yeah,
Well, do I?
you look completely deranged now.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up. So then, I have to do something to make her accept it. Okay. Make your argument. E-handbook. E-handbook? E-handbook, yeah. Get her to open her
Hifumi
e-handbook.
was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long
Okay.
do you plan to go on pretending?
Did she scream?
I'm not
Several times.
pretending.
Yes.
It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
That's
that's
where.
the only truth there is! Moron!
Okay. Got it. If I remember, there's something here that shows its owner's real name. Sure, Kyoko mentioned something like that at some point. Well, we figured out where it came in.
Hifumi was trying to tell. He wanted us to know the killer.
Yeah,
But there's
yeah.
one person.
It would
Yeah.
have to be you, Celeste.
How many times? Celestial Ludenberg!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
No, that's wrong.
Great.
That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on,
How did Kyoko
it
know
shows
this?
the owner's name when it boots
Like,
up,
how
right?
did she know that it was going to go this way? That's what I don't understand.
Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because
Because you're lucky?
Because
Because you're born lucky?
until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
There's only one check mark, or question mark in my head now, though. And that's, who actually killed Taka? So, where are we? I don't think that that's going to come into play. Also, think from the very beginning she was acting kind of sus because she was way too mean to Mikoto even after his lesson. Arguments on this to save her own skin, so yeah. Bag of chips, I guess. Okay, let's go with this here then. I mean, it makes sense. Ish. Back to... this is where they knock him out. Wait, no, not that one. Hang on. This is Summer 3. Oh, at 1 a.m. Okay. 1 a.m. So you liked her breakdown? Yeah, it was very cathartic, I must say. He comes in. They stuff him into the suit. So this is the camera. Yep. Oh, he is the one who killed Taka. Okay. Come on. This is before then. Is it that? The red herrings are both repeats from the coin column of previous cases. Yeah. I noticed that. So 6 a.m. Yep. So he is the one who killed, and then I believe it would be this one. Maybe. Certainly not that. I suppose it would be this. This is Hammer 4. Showed him the picture. He... Nurse's office. Why was he... Wait. Did Baka see him in the nurse's office? What? That's one hell of a sight, by the way. Let's see. I'm guessing that this one was here? Seriously, why? What? That panel is really throwing me off. No, hang on. This is when they actually find the body, isn't it? But that's... Oh no, that's the tarp. Okay, that's not him falling down. I thought it was the tarp. I thought it was that. That's why you have Leon's ball as a circle. Yeah. I recognize that on the poster. Huh. Oh right, he bonked himself. He got bonked on the head, and they left him in the nurse's office to go upstairs. Right, I forgot about that. Okay. So let's put this one here. I mean, there's nothing else that really makes sense, I don't think. Almost Galaxy Brain, one more complicated cases in this game. You're correct in assuming that last accomplice. Yeah, I did alright. I got like, what, 90%? 80? No, 88, 85, 90? So... Justice Hammer 3, yes. Put that there. They each find the bodies. He then grabs the tarp. Oh no, this is... Yes, he moves the body on the tarp, yes. What? He then celebrates and... So it wasn't part of the plan. Her killing him. Okay, and then... What's last? Oh, clean this. That's 2 out of 3 cases. Thank you. That bag. Hang on. Did I see that bag anywhere? Like that? That might be one. Huh. Yeah, I'm not... Yeah, I haven't actually seen that bag anywhere. So, where would that go then? Where am I not happy? Actually... Where is this one? Is that... That's probably somewhere, isn't it? Huh. I don't know, let's see.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
No, I didn't lay out my reasoning right. What? Oh, okay. Well, that's incorrect. Oh, yeah, I suppose that would be. Oh, I think I see. Hang on. I think I see where I went wrong here then. This can go away, then he goes into... I'm not actually sure there. But this, I think, has to go here.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Ah, I see. Yeah, I very much made that one wrong.
With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Tick, tick, tick.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hero. The murderous duo intended to pass Hero off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him... They drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him.
Maybe Celeste and Hifumi together. You stop guessing the culprits more than wants you to. Oh, sorry, Firewall. I'll try not to in future.
While the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault, they did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Yeah!
Man.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But
to be fair, I also fell into that trap, so it actually did work for me. Sadly. Right, and okay, so it's not that one. That was okay. So this is where I made this mistake at the very, very start. I'm gonna put a cut in here for YouTube real quick. I hope you enjoyed. I'll finish up this case in the next episode. Have a good day. Like, subscribe, comment on that. Have a wonderful. See you next time. Bye bye.